I guess I think art's how we find the human side of us. It's where our soul is. Hello, my name's Marvin Keith. I live in Coconut Creek. I'm an acrylic artist. I do acrylics on canvas. I went through a lot of processes, but that's where I ended up, so that's what I do now. Obviously, I'm a painter. I do acrylics. I went through oils, watercolors, and all the other genre and ended up with acrylic. I guess I think of myself as an impressionist because a lot of the work I do deals with light and color. I don't try to be realistic. I try to give an impressionistic side. So I identify with that style of art more than any other. Obviously, everything's landscape. I don't do any portraits. I don't do animals. So I do, Mother Nature. So a lot of landscapes. I don't overtly talk about preservation of Mother Nature, that sort of thing, but that's kind of implicit in the work. Sometimes I say I really trust trees better than I trust people. So there's a little truth to that, and I really enjoy painting, trees, mountains, rivers, that sort of thing. What do I want my art to convey? I guess a love for nature, an awareness of outdoors, the beauty of what surrounds us. I think that's it. Why did I choose to pursue art? Actually, I started with photography. It's art too, but the first thing I did was make sketches with pencils on paper, and I took a lot of photographs. And I think someplace around the 7th grade, the 8th grade, something like that, I stopped taking pictures and I started realizing I had hundreds of pictures that I could paint, that I could use them as the subject of a painting. So I started using my photographs as subject matter for the paintings that I did. And it worked out well. I have this compulsion to create. So I do something creative every day. I can't control it. I have no control over it. So I'm either painting or drawing or something every day. I probably do one painting every 2 or 3 days. My background is business, actually, which is surprising to a lot of people. I've done a lot of accounting. There's supposed to be 2 sides to your brain, so I guess I'm trying to use both sides. So I've done a lot of accounting, a lot of business. The last thing I did, I own my own bed and breakfast. I'm also a chef and a photographer, so I keep pretty busy with creative things. But the bed and breakfast allowed me to retire early, so that's also kind of where I was able to take some time to devote to the artistic side of my brain. Is there a process I do before I paint? This is going to sound funny. People listen to this and they don't believe it. I actually sit and look at the canvas. And believe it or not, I see things in a blank canvas. So it looks white to everybody else, but I see shadows and I can see the painting I'm going to do many times. So it helps me orient to the size, the shape of the work that I'm going to do by studying the canvas. I've done one mural. It was days and days and weeks of effort. It was huge. And I'd like to do something really, really big again. But it's very difficult to get this kind of detail in something that large. But I would like to do something really big again, like a mural. Right off the bat, the first artist that I admire is Monet, because it goes along with the impressionist idea that I have of the way painting should look. But I've been inspired lately. Actually, I met Peter Max 3 times, and I really think his work is amazing. So I would mention Peter Max, Monet. I think those are the 2 major influences at the moment. Yeah, I think as far as physical spaces that inspire me, I live in Winmore, and it's a closed community, a walled community. But there's a lot of beautiful places in Winmore with just benches you can sit and look at trees and other things that, Mother Nature. So I find places to go inside the community. Any park works very well. I'm very fond of Monument Valley and scenery like this. So very dramatic scenery, if I can get into it. That's where I like to go. I think when I went to the university, everybody expected me to be in one place. I was supposed to be signing up for classes. So all my friends were signing up for classes and standing in line and making all these signatures and trying to pick out classes and that sort of stuff. And somebody finally said, "Where's Marvin?" They found me in a field on my stomach taking pictures up close of flowers. I know that's kind of strange, but everybody else was doing something else, and that's what I was doing. So that's the first thing I remember, being as creative as I could be by taking photographs, which then I turned out to paint. For me, painting and art is all about two things: light and color. It's obvious color. I mean, if you look at this, you can tell color is a big issue with me. When I first started, I used so much color, it was almost embarrassing. People would look at it and go, "Nah," it just didn't look realistic. So I started doing hot air balloons and sailboats, because you could paint hot air balloon any color you wanted to. Same with the sailboat. So I had these bright, magnificent colors all over the place because I used those two things. Then as time went on, I was able to kind of control the use of color. So it isn't as strange as it was before. It does have some appearance of normality anyway. So the next thing I worked with was light. And I'm now doing a lot of work where the light comes from behind. So it's the light coming through trees as opposed to being shining on the tree. So I do a lot. You'll see some of the other work has a lot of influence of light coming from behind. So it's the two things, color and light. I'm a good friend with Mickey Belvedere and Kristen Beck. Kristen Beck is a supporter of the arts. Mickey Belvedere is involved with a lot of things around here. She's in government, and she's also helped with the Multicultural Club. So the three of us actually got together and we were talking about things, and we found that all three of us had this idea that it would be a good thing if Coconut Creek had an art presence. So we decided to start an art guild. I think art's how we find the human side of us. It's where our soul is. So there's a lot of things you have to do. Go to work, take care of the kids. But the special part is being able to appreciate art and literature. So that's how I think we know we're actually human, because of that. Sure, the advice I would give young people would be to keep working. I was told once, and I actually believe it now, you have to paint at least 50 or 60 paintings for the first one to be good. I think now I've painted probably 450. I'm not sure I'm great yet, but I'm getting better, and it's because you keep working. You can't improve that if you don't, keep putting things on canvas.